think we had a 6-hour meeting where I realized he was considering me for this role of Freddie Mercury. And I mean, I'd been around the block enough in Hollywood to know that things like this can come and go in a moment's notice, and people can often say one thing and you don't necessarily, you can't hold them to it because it's the nature of the business. But as the conversation went on, I could just tell how passionate he was about it, and I think he knew that I appreciated the music, and of course, as an actor, was chomping at the bit. I don't think I completely understood just how massive he is to so many people across the world. I mean, their fan base it's massive. He's beloved by so many different people in so many countries. It traces the band from their very humble beginnings to absolute rock star stardom, and you get to see how that all came to be. In particular, Freddie Mercury's story. There are so many different faces of Freddie Mercury, and I don't think one is more true than the other. But he himself says, I can be real lonely sometimes, and I can also be the showman that everybody sees me. And he's also on the search for how he identifies sexually, and the search for love. And so, many of the scenes you'll find him in when he is alone is him grappling with this, and also him grappling with that in terms of his lyrics and the music. And I think that's what will allow these songs to resonate even more than they do, is to get this background of what he may have been going through or the questions he was trying to answer. One thing about Freddie Mercury that's absolutely undeniable is his magnetism. And when he was, just able to access what he knows he's capable of, and it is that meeting of standing on stage in front, holding that half mic, or sitting down by the piano, that I think brings out something in him that is like no other. And I would say that he feels capable of anything. And I think what is magical about him is there is this exchange with everyone in the audience where he allows that person to feel the same thing as well. He just can reach you almost as if you're the only person in the room, no matter where you are watching that stage from any row, hitting everyone all the way at the back of the room. And it's that exchange that I think makes him one of the most unique and remarkable and revolutionary artists of our time or any time. It's tricky when you set out to play Freddie Mercury. You think, how am I ever going to fill those shoes? And I tried to attack it from the way I would any other role. Whereas if you remove what he could do on stage and his ability to sing and play piano and a myriad of other instruments, there was a man, a very complicated man at the center who was trying to discover his identity, and that was a way in. That was something I knew how to tackle. She was the closest person to him in his life for the majority of, since he met her, essentially, and someone he could implicitly trust and relied on, and whom he wrote the song "Love of My Life" about. Gwilym Lee playing Brian May could not be a more perfect version. I remember hearing him at the table read and looking over it and having this kind of frightened feeling that it was Brian May. Really, I think I may have stopped reading my lines as Freddie Mercury at the table read because I was so astonished how well he was capturing him. Ben Hardy, just did a phenomenal job of getting to the essence of Roger and finding that playful side and that rueful side, and also someone who was very passionate about his work. He and I were very supportive of one another, and Freddie and Deaky were very close as well and looked after one another. So Joe did an incredible job capturing him, and that's also not a very easy accent to tackle. But I mean, those boys they had them, and not as mimics, but they did the same amount of work that I did. Lucy Boynton captured Mary, I think, as well as anyone could. The perfect confidant, the one Freddie could trust wholeheartedly, and the one who was reassuring and could give him the advice and confidence he needed. But more than that, just be a human being who could stand her ground and say what she needed to say at the moment, in the moment it was needed, and be not just there to support, but let Freddie know the truth. And so one could argue that she is the heart of this movie, and she is what keeps everything together and motivated and allows Freddie to discover that sense of self. I hope that when people leave the theater, they are filled with all the confidence that they own inside, that Freddie was able to discover and own, and that they are as inspired by Queen's story and Freddie's story as I am. I hope that they can sing as loudly as he can and own every truth of theirs and not feel like they have to hide anything, but that they can just be and enjoy exactly who they were meant to be.